Welcome back. For years, brave professors warned about the softening of America's universities. Now we're paying the price of caring more about political correctness than education. Two Chinese universities made the world's top 20 list. Stanford, Harvard still do better. But to start for the Chinese, they did it by stealing American technology and forcing their kids to work harder, among other ways. Chinese universities don't spend all that much time on political correctness, much less wokeness. Think about University of Michigan, where medical school students walked out because they didn't like the university asking a pro-life doctor to speak. We covered MIT canceling a lecture by a professor who dared question racial quotas. NYU fired a professor because students complained too many of them failed his organic chemistry test. Doug Belkin, higher education reporter for the Wall Street Journal, former Foreign correspondent. Trish Regan, famed business journalist, one-time Goldman Sachs trader as well. Doug, start with you. Has there ever been a case, you think, of a Chinese professor getting fired for his class being too hard?
No, they may get fired for speaking their mind, but they probably won't get fired for pushing their students too hard. They have different issues, I think, in China with regard to academic freedom than the kind of campus culture you're describing here.
How much of this, Doug, is that American universities just used to love to give scholarship to Chinese students, train them in the very best of American technology and science, and now, and as part of their plan, they're going back and making their universities better?
The Chinese have had a long-standing plan to build out their academies by educating folks abroad. A lot of those folks went to the United States. They got great educations, and now a lot of them are returning back home, and they're helping to build the infrastructure in Chinese universities that are beginning to bear fruit. Their research has passed ours in terms of both quality and quantity.
That part's terrifying, considering what China wants to do and what Xi Jinping's plans are. Trish, at the same time, class of 2020 ACT scores, composite was 19.8. First time since 1991, the average score is below 20. 42% met none of the benchmarks. What's happening here?
No, I look at it and say, Leland, we are on our way to being the next France, which I guess there are worse things. And China is on its way to being the next United States of America. I mean, they are putting education first in a way that we just haven't in recent years. And you spend a ton of money to go get a degree in something that really makes you a more educated person. I'm not going to dispute that, but it's not necessarily applicable to the world in which we now live. So things like sciences, math, engineering, some of these courses of study, we have fallen significantly behind in. I mean, frankly, I'd say everything we've fallen behind in. And part of that is just academia itself. A lot of people used to complain back in the 80s about the big industrial military complex. I think about education nowadays as the big government educational complex, because all the money, right? And it's free money, don't forget. And by the way, Joe Biden is going to pay you back for some of those student loans. It's effectively free money for these kids and thus these colleges, importantly, these universities, and they're spending it however they want in fields that are not beneficial both to their students and frankly to the country.
Yeah, no, the study of art history through music probably is not going to bring America to the forefront in the hard sciences.
By the way, you're talking to somebody who went to a conservatory, so don't downplay art or music. Earlier before,
The philosophy of spicy food probably isn't going to do much. Okay, you're so talking to somebody who failed art and has appreciation only for country music. So we'll leave that aside. Doug, you talk about higher education and cover higher education both in the United States and overseas. China's student spying, a number of headlines, we've seen thousands of them though. Have Chinese spies infiltrated America's campuses? American universities are a soft target for Chinese spies, say U.S. intelligence officials. FBI urges universities to monitor some Chinese students and scholars in the United States. Has the United States academic institutions, especially the places where you're studying nuclear physics and rocket making like at MIT, and Cal Berkeley and the others, have they understood now what a risk the Chinese are and adapted to it, or is the American university still living in Pollyanna world?
The latest headlines on this subject have sort of been inverted. There's been a tremendous overreach, I think, and we've seen a lot of these professors who were arrested where the charges have been dropped because they didn't stand up. So it tells me that in some cases, the Department of Justice has just miscalculated in terms of trying to go after some of these folks that, they were calling things espionage, and then when they brought it to court, they couldn't stand it up. So, we have been the fountain of a tremendous amount of intellectual energy for a long time, and the Chinese benefited from that, absolutely. To what degree they stole it, I think the verdict's out on that right now. There was a lot of headlines that said.
No, you make a great point in terms of the counterintelligence operations on U.S. campuses. I'm thinking Harvard and the one that went down in Boston. Trish, I only got 30 seconds, but as the parent of a couple of young kids, you think about this list of top universities. If they're willing to go overseas, you're all of a sudden spending 1/10, 1/20th, 1/30th of what you'd spend in the United States for an education. How can you say no?
Well, I mean, you look at the University of Bologna, which is one of the oldest universities in the world, in Bologna, Italy, and they have numerous courses. Most of their courses are all done in English because English is still really the language of the world. And you can go there for, pennies compared. I mean, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I think it's somewhere around $2,000 a year. That's a heck of a deal compared to what you'd be looking at in the United States. I mean, I'm just, to the wokeness element of this, University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School just came out this week and announced that they have a DEI degree that you can get at the business school, which is diversity, equality, inclusion, DEI major. You can see that. Yeah, there's a real shift going on away from maybe
it's good. We'll see if that degree sticks around through the recession, because sometimes the recessions have a chance to sort of wash some of that out. Trish, Doug, it's good to see both of you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.